Hey everybody. Okay, we are going to go over how to edit and publish a press release. So let's get started. We're going to use Omno as the demo. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to click edit. Okay, I'm going to ignore the autosave because I practiced this a few times before I recorded. We are waiting because this is going to populate. If you can see at the top, it was still squirrely. All right, the first thing we are going to do, let me get my checklist out, is we are going to click right here. So just so you know, you can click here or you could click where it said classic, either or, and we're going to click convert to blocks because that's what everybody's used to using so far. So we're doing that so that as we post things in it later, it's going to be in the correct type of editor. So the next thing we're going to do is click read more and then click on the link. We're going to open it up. So first thing we're going to see is this first line is always the title. We're going to grab everything under that. And I mean everything. I'll tell you guys what to delete as we go along in the video. So now that we're here, we're going to take this entire paragraph because this is duplicated and we're going to replace it with what we just copied. Now that we've done this, there's a few little things that we can kind of tip through. We can take off this date and the origin, I guess, country, because it's still news, even if it's not in the US. And as you guys know, we have much more viewership than just, than just the US. So it matters. So the next thing we're going to do is, of course, make sure that we replace that first paragraph, which we did, because we don't want any copies. Otherwise, it just looks silly. So we have the entire press release here. We see here that there's a game trailer. So we're going to go grab that. I could click on it and go to it and then copy it up here, but I'm going to be lazy. I'm just going to say copy link address. And then what we need to do is create a new box or block, because currently it's not really showing you the block outline, but if you see this little plus sign here, everything above the plus sign is part of the previous block, everything below it is part of the bottom block. If we try to post this link in one of those already existing blocks, it's automatically going to just make it a link. We don't want to do that. So you can either click on the plus sign and choose YouTube, or you can press enter, which makes a new block. See, it's got a new little plus over here that kind of disappears sometimes. Now, whenever I put the link in here, it's going to automatically embed it. If I had clicked YouTube earlier and inserted the link, it would do the same thing. This was just faster. So now we have that. Fantastic. So now we also want the Steam page link because we want people to be able to find these people's games. So we're going to go down here, copy the link address. You can put it just about anywhere. This is kind of up to some creative freedom. I'm going to choose to put it in the caption here. So I'm going to say, find, where's the name? Omno on Steam. Now I'm going to highlight those words that I just typed and choose the link. And I'm going to paste that URL that I just copied a minute ago. So there we go. Now underneath the trailer, it's going to say find Omno on Steam. So now we have the press kit. Now, not every press release is going to be this nicely made. These people made this press release to make this process as easy as possible. So thank you guys. But anyway, we're going to click this press kit. We are going to go ahead and open it in a new tab. Once we're over here, there's a whole bunch of information about the company. I'm not asking you guys to research the company or anything. We're just going to go down. Here's the trailer. We already have that link though. I'm going to come down here and find an image and I'm going to save it someplace. And this image is going to be our featured image. So now that I've gotten this, I don't need this anymore. I can close it. Let's go back to our article. I know I'm moving pretty fast, but this should be a fast process for you guys. All right. So now that I've done that, I'm going to kind of break out of, there's more stuff we could do on this side, but I'm going to go ahead and do this while I'm thinking about it. So I just got the image, so I'm going to set featured image, upload, select it. I just saved it right there. giving it a moment because a lot of these are large images. Okay. And this will take a second to load, but there we go. We've got our main featured image. Okay, now that we've done that, we're going back to where we were, which is over here. We've used all these things. We don't need them anymore. So let's highlight both blocks because now you can see the entire block. Click here. Now you can also backspace and that might work, but if it doesn't, do this and click remove blocks. Okay, here we are. So we got rid of the extras because that's something you have to do is get rid of, let's see how I said it. I typed it out so I would know. Or basically removing things that don't belong, like the media kits, or sometimes they'll leave messages that say, if you want to interview, contact the publisher at so-and-so. You know, that's nice for internal knowledge, so it's good for us to have it, but we don't want to publish it for everybody. That's not our thing. But we can leave like about Studio Inky Fox because people probably don't know who they are. So we can leave that blurb at the bottom. We can leave all of this so far where it is. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go back to the post attributes. We're going to go back to the top. We are going to look at the URL slug. This one, it needs to be somewhere between, we don't want it to be too long, so we want it to be about 6 to 8 words. I mean, it doesn't have, it's not like you're going to add words. More than likely, it's got more than you could possibly need already in there. However, it's okay to be around 6 to 8, but not much longer. We need to make sure that the game title is in there, and this one is. It's Omno is arriving on July 29th. It's okay to leave that there. So next up, we're on to categories. News should automatically be chosen. But look, see it says blog. We need to uncheck that. We only want these press releases to go under news because that controls where it's going to be shown on the website. And I don't want us or our writers' articles to have to compete with industry news. That's why they have 2 different dedicated places on the website. And I apologize. It's still work time. All right, so we have that. The next thing we're going to do is tags. I hate those notifications. Okay, on tags, we're doing it just like it was a regular article. A lot of these are going to be the same. We're going to do gamer because, and if you can see what I'm doing hashtag video games, comma. When I press comma, it makes it a separate tag, so that's important. So this one is an indie game, so I'm going to do hashtag indie games, and then apologize. Let's see, did I have any more? I think it's a PC game, so PC gamer. Sorry, I turned off the actual notifications so that apparently now Google Chrome wants me to know, even though I muted everything else. Anyway, so we have tags in there. Folders, you guys can ignore this. For this one, I'm going to put it under my name, but don't do that to yours because then we won't be able to find them. So I'd rather them just not be in a folder and I can mess with it later, or you can put it under my name for now. We don't need to put the excerpt because there is summary text above the trailer. If the trailer was the first thing people saw, then we would need to put an excerpt in here, just like in your regular post. Ignore the age gate. I had one post that in order to display the trailer, they wanted people to put their date in. They didn't even give us an actual date of how old they needed to be. They just wanted to make sure people had to do that. Most of them don't do that, so ignore that for now. The status, since we're going to leave that alone for a little bit too. We're going to come right back to it in just a second. So first thing we need to do is a Grammarly check. Now, when you look at these, they look perfect, but they're not always. Sometimes you actually have to click in the box for Grammarly to run it. Clearly, if I'm having you edit articles, it means that I know you know your English. That being said, things still get missed. Most of these press releases are actually written by journalists, but things get missed. Grammarly, sometimes we'll ignore things that Grammarly tell us to change because they don't apply, but most of the time Grammarly knows what it's doing. Okay, so far I'm not getting much, but see down here, this little 3, open Grammarly, it found a few. So Omno is the name of the game, not Omni, so we're going to add that to dictionary so it knows for next time. Full-time, that's correct. Kickstarter is a business name, so it should be capitalized. Inserting a comma is always nice. Single player should be dashed. This is suggesting a comma, that's fine. It's saying to help conciseness to take that out. So solo developer Jonas Mank, aka Studio Inky Fox, along with indie publisher Future Friends, announced the final release. That's because those words are not necessary. It actually looks sillier with them, and Grammarly knows this, so we take those out. 97% sounds joyful. We have nothing else to do here, so we're closing it out. Man, we're going through fast. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is probably the most difficult for me. It's this headline organizer. Headline analyzer. It is telling us that our headline is boring and nobody wants to click it. We need it to be green, and we really don't need too much. So here's where it analyzes exactly how this headline is. It says, okay, it's got 33% common words. That's in the green, so it's not mad. It has no uncommon words, no emotional words, and no power words. Power words, it says at least one. It actually does matter. That'll probably raise our score up to green when we need it. Power words, sometimes you can search online for social media power words. You see my history. All right, so here we are, power words. I've looked some up before. We don't just willy-nilly. So this just gives you an idea what power words are. Miracle, magic, offer, easy, quick, just things that kind of grab people's attention. You don't want your article to look like clickbait, but they do sometimes need to have a little help. So we're going to come back over here. It also says that the actual thing is too short. So the word count is good, but the actual character count is small. So let's see. So power words, I'm just going off my memory here. Okay, this is why it's actually creative, because we're trying to make it sound good. So we see our focus word, single player adventure full of puzzles, secrets, obstacles, or let's see, vibrant world. Okay, so we need so new power word, puzzle, and I'm going to dash this. I'm making up a word, but we're doing it. Puzzle adventure, comma, Omno is arriving on July 29th. And I forgot a space. That's why it's mad at me. Now, that's really bland, but I know. I literally just added an exclamation point. Don't judge me. So now we're going to come over here. This doesn't update very quickly. Sometimes I have to like click this off and on. There we go. We just popped up to an 87 with just new puzzle adventure and adding an exclamation point. Woot. Okay. And that's good enough. That's all we really want. We just want it to be a little bit more exciting than it was. This is telling... Oh, it's saying I should add another comma, which is fine. There we go. I was seeing omno and saying comma. Whatever. All right, so we got it. So now we click this icon to go back to the regular settings. All right, so we have grammar done. We've taken out links. We've got this in there. We've got that in there. Made sure everything looked good. Didn't actually have to write all that. That's great. Thank you guys for press releases. Now we're going to come up here to publish, and we're going to say reset, and that puts it immediately. Now we have one more step, because it used to be we could just push publish and it would be ready to go. But I have these set up this way so that it requires a little extra thought. So now we're going to go down here and actually say published. All right, published, and then we're going to go back to the top, reaffirm it says immediately. Our URL slug is still the way it was before we changed the title, but that's okay because people are looking at the title, not the URL slug. So if this is shorter and more bland, nobody cares. Okay, good. So we can hit publish, and we have to hit publish again. because it wants to make sure, are you sure? And it even confirms what time. So sometimes whenever you publish articles and it's hidden in the history, it tried to warn you, but I know it's easy to miss. Okay, so it is loading this for the first time. Let's see what we ended up with. Excellent. We have our back image. This isn't centered, but that's okay. It's actually really awkward to get that centered. I'll show you how, but if you don't, I'm not going to be mad because it's a pain. All right, so here's our article, and we didn't have to write it. We just had to make it look nice. So essentially what I want for these is the rate for publishing as an editor on this site, because I'm paying out of my own pocket, is it translates into $2.50 per 1,000 words. So this may be less. It's actually calculated per word, so that may be less than $2.50. It may be more. It just depends on how big the article is. And so since nobody wrote this, we just basically edited and published it. You would get paid oh, let me see how many. Forgive me. Hold on. I want to see how many actual words are in this. Okay, I apologize for that. All right, here we are. And it has 346 words. So that is going to end up being, sorry, it is that much per word times, so it'll be 86 cents. That's not stellar, but that's the world. I mean, you can do multiple of these press releases, so it gets better. And a lot of press releases are actually longer than that, so that's okay. All right. Oh, I was going to show you. Sorry. I heard dog barking, and I thought it was my missing dog, so I apologize. So getting this centered. Now there's two things that we can look at. First of all, whenever you click on it, somewhere, it usually opens up a thing. But it doesn't this time. Oh, no, here it is. Here it is. Okay, so here's this thing. You can click Align Center, but it doesn't work. Let me update this and then I'll show you. Apologize for the loading time. Okay, see, we centered it and it's not centered. Not a chance. So the back end way that we do this is we can come up here to these three dots that you guys have probably never interacted with, and we're going to say code editor instead of visual editor. Now this looks like a mess. You can ignore most of it. You see here is the YouTube link. We are not putting what I'm telling you in this particular line. We're putting it up here. We're going to say center with the, arrow things around it. It's important that it looks like that. And then again, avoiding this line, we're going down to here and we're going to do the same thing, only we're going to put this /, and that's the close tag for that. So we have centered. Now we're going to go up here and go back to Visual Editor. Now, do not worry. You see it says this block contains unexpected or invalid content. I don't care. Ignore it. We're going to hit update. Just don't touch it. Don't attempt. If you attempt block recovery, it's going to take away the center tags, so ignore that. We are just updating. Now we're going to go over here and refresh the page. And if I did it right, it should be centered. Here we are. See, it's centered now. So it looks a little bit better. I'm not going to be mad if anybody doesn't do that because, again, it was only 86 cents for editing this article, so you don't have to do that. But here's how you make it look nice if you want to. And even in your own articles, if you want to center a video, that's how you can do it. I think that's all for now. I think I'm going to come back in a little bit with a tutorial on how to edit actual writers' articles rather than press releases. But this was the fastest one that people could get started on. Thanks for watching.